plunged on Monday, March 10th, as investors responded to mounting concerns about the economy under President Donald Trump. And baby, look, it's just day 50. It's just day 50. Hello, this is the People's Brief, where we talk about people, politics, and pop culture that impact Black, brown, and queer communities. I get the news in so you can get the information out, and I promise you, I won't keep you long. I never do. Just stick with me. Like, follow, and share. Major financial indices suffered, that's the plural of indexes, suffered their worst losses of the year, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average plummeting. It's going down the road. With the Dow Jones Industrial Average plummeting nearly 900 points. That's 2.1%. While the S&P 500 dropped a staggering 2.7%. Most alarming was the technology-heavy Nasdaq composite, which crashed 4%, which means that we're officially in the territory for correction. At the heart of today's market turmoil lies President Trump's foolish talk around tariffs and the economy. On Sunday night, he gave an interview to Fox News, and during the interview, he refused to rule out the possibility of a recession, cryptically describing the economy as being in a period of transition. That's what they're calling it, the Trump transition economy. This type of messaging from our president profoundly unsettles investors, and it caused market turmoil today. When our president won't dismiss recession concerns, it tells investors that even our government sees economic hardship coming, and the economy craves stability, and it's not getting it from this current administration. And adding to this, of course, are the aggressive trade talks around tariffs aimed at Canada and Mexico. The administration's confrontational approach to international trade has triggered retaliatory measures from both Canada and Mexico and China, creating a negative backdrop and a negative feedback loop that threatens economic growth in our country. We went from a strong economic forecast for 2025 to one that is significantly in peril. And to be honest, most telling has been the dramatic reversal of fortune for Tesla, who is fucking around and finding out. They're learning that karma is real. Their shares nosedive more than 15% in a single day, erasing all gains accumulated since Trump was elected. The electric vehicle manufacturer's stunning collapse symbolizes a broader abandonment of the Trump trade that initially lifted markets up following the election. And, we can't say that the other people in tech were spared, because Nvidia, Apple, Alphabet all recorded significant losses as investors fled high growth stocks that had previously seemed immune to economic headwinds, but none of them dropped as much as Tesla. No one else did. American consumers ultimately bear the burden of these policies through higher prices on important goods, while U.S. businesses will face increased expenses that will limit their ability to be competitive in a global market. And we're again seeing sectors like energy, materials, consumer discretionary goods, technology being impacted, and those sectors have always seemed immune. Anderson Cooper did a bit of that on his show today, and he addressed it on CNN. Take a look at this.
Rare for President Trump to not appear in front of a camera, but today he was nowhere to be seen, which meant reporters couldn't ask him about this, the massive stock sell-off that began the moment the bell rang. The Dow was down almost 900 points. The Nasdaq took the worst beating, down 4%. The Nasdaq's decline was its biggest day decline since September of 2022. More than an hour after markets closed, the White House did finally put out a statement touting the president's economic agenda and first-term record on the economy. It didn't mention the massive drops today, nor what sparked it. The culprit wasn't a poorly received report of jobs, GDP, or consumer spending, as is often the case. It was what the president himself said in this interview aired on Sunday.
Are you expecting a recession this year? I hate to predict things like that. There is a period of transition because what we're doing is very big. We're bringing wealth back to America. That's a big thing. And there are always periods of, it takes a little time.
Well, it was a pretty simple question, deserved a straightforward answer, but that was not what the reporter got. He was asked that same question again on Air Force One, and here's what happened.
Are you worried about a recession? Maria Bartiromo asked you, and you kind of hesitated.
I'll tell you what, of course you hesitate. Who knows? All I know is this, we're going to take in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs.
Well, twice the president of the United States was asked whether he was expecting a recession this year. Twice he avoided the question. For markets already spooked by the uncertainty and potential for higher prices surrounding those tariffs on Canada and Mexico you just heard him mention, this was too much, particularly compared to how his Commerce Secretary answered that same question Sunday morning on another network.
Should Americans brace for a recession?
Absolutely not. There's going to be no recession in America. I would never bet on recession. No chance.
Well, the president, it seems, has no such confidence, which is notable after he spoke so highly of last week's jobs report and after Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell last week said the U.S. economy continues to be in a good place. Perhaps it's not surprising he didn't want to be on camera today as the markets crashed. After all, he is often tied a president's performance as a leader to the stock market.
And baby, I can't say I didn't do my happy dance when I learned that the best of today's news was that Tesla stock actually hit rock bottom, crashing more than 15% and erasing all gains since the U.S. presidential election. This catastrophic single-day plunge into disaster is just the latest chapter in Tesla's ongoing financial nightmare, with shares now down over 50% from their mid-December peak, with a staggering 43% drop in 2025 alone. Fuck around and find out karma is real, little man. Today's collapse made Tesla literally the worst performing stock in the S&P 500, the worst, dramatically underperforming other tech businesses. While companies like Apple and Microsoft and Alphabet and Amazon did experience decline at like 1 to 2%, Tesla's 15% free fall stands as a stark outlier in this already turbulent market. At the heart of Tesla's fuck-ups lies CEO Elon Musk and his absolute failure of alignment and leadership within the Trump administration. His vocal support of President Trump and his policies has triggered widespread international protest, with demonstrators targeting Tesla showrooms across the country. Vandalism, organized demonstrations, all of it's created a toxic brand association that's driving customers away. The hashtag Boycott Tesla has gained significant traction on all social media platforms, including Twitter, with former Tesla enthusiasts publicly announcing their decision to cancel orders or sell their vehicles. So yes, Tesla is in the toilet, as is Target. The Target Corporation is facing significant financial and reputational damage as a nationwide boycott enters into its second month. The once giant of retail has seen its stock price plummet nearly 13% over the past month, wiping out approximately $12.4 billion in market value since the end of February. These losses come in direct response to the company's controversial decision to roll back its diversity, equity, and inclusion policies and initiatives. The numbers paint a grim picture for Target investors, and they are mad as a motherfucker. On February the 10th, of 2025, Target shares were trading at $130.76 respectfully. And let's go forward 1 month later on March 10th, baby. On March 10th, the stock has now dropped to $113.85, a 12.93% decline in just 1 month. The boycott is working. It is working. You fucked around, you're finding out. Data from Placer.ai confirms that Target executives already know that fewer shoppers are visiting their stores. The company recorded notable drops in foot traffic to locations in late January through mid-February, directly coinciding with the boycott's launch and subsequent growth. Target's latest financial reporting does little to calm the nerves of their investors. The company reported a slight decline in sales for February, breaking from its typical growth pattern. Because, see, baby, black folks go in February and they take them sales up. Not this time, not this year. And no, executives are not talking about it publicly. But I can't imagine that internal discussions are not happening inside to correct it. Industry insiders suggest that if the current trend continues, Target may need to revise its quarterly earnings guidance downward, a move that will likely trigger another round of stock price adjustments. And to be honest with you, most troubling for Target's long-term outlook is the shift away from this brand, this company, and consumer sentiment. Because, baby, we ain't going back. We ain't going back. The company spent years cultivating an image of being a progressive retailer that valued us, that valued diversity and inclusion. And rolling these initiatives back has created an absolute break for many of us, for loyal customers. And again, I'm not going back to that. I'm not going back in there ever, no matter what they do, no matter what they say. I'm not, unless I am paid by Target to go back. That's the only way. They have initiated a lot of risk, a lot of damage to their brand. What began as a corporate policy decision has evolved into a case study in consumer activism and corporate responsibility in the modern retail landscape. The coming weeks will let us know a lot more about Target, but I'm happy to report they fucked up. They fucked up real bad. And now their money's fucked up, as it should be. And I can honestly say I don't miss it at all. I don't miss it at all. Target was a luxury. It was a treat. It was retail therapy that I didn't fucking need. Wasted money. So it's bad that our stock market is crashing and our economy is going to shit and the egg prices are through the damn roof. But it's good news that Elon Musk lost billions, and so the fuck did Target. It brings a smile to my face and lessens the impact of the bad news. With that being said, I hope that you will be well, be blessed, and whatever you do, keep pushing. And I'll see you soon. Right back here tomorrow for the People's Brief.